All right, good morning, guys. We are setting up our warm-up paper since today's the first day that we are beginning our warm-ups for class. So like we talked about last week, heading your paper, you're going to put your name in the top right corner. You guys are going to put your color for your class, which you guys are blue, good. And then you're going to put the date of today, which is the day we are starting these. So today is 9/6. So today's our first day, so we're going to write our title, which is warm-ups. And then you are going to write Tuesday, because today's the first day we are starting these, so 9/6. All right. Check with your neighbor to make sure that theirs is matching mine, and you check theirs, make sure theirs is matching mine, and everyone should be set up. All right, so we're gonna just start off with a simple warm-up for today. So I want you to work out 4.5 times 2.3. No calculators. Is that a good way to work that out? Or what should you do after you write the original problem? Evie?
Put them
on top of each other, yep. And then you do not long division, but like your long multiplication process, right? So I'll give you about a minute or so to work that one out. Let's try to keep one number on one line, not floating all over the paper, not 7 lines tall. We've really got to work on our handwriting. Most of you looking really good today. All set up. You guys should not be ripping papers out of a composition notebook. So you need to get a notebook paper. Remember, you should always aim to turn in your best work. Ripping paper out of a notebook doesn't have holes, it's ripped on the side. Is that your best work? No. So let's remember that. All right, so let's stack these. So we have 4.5 times 2.3. And we got 5 times 3 is 15, carry. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13, placeholder. Then we got 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Everybody match me so far? Okay, so here we're going to add. So we've got 5, 3, 10, and I'm going to figure out where my decimal is going to go. So I've got one place here and one place here. So total, that's how many places I've got to move over. 2. So we're going to go 1, 2. So my answer is going to be 10 and 35/100. Everyone good with that warm-up? All right, so you're going to skip a line and you're going to write Wednesday, 9/10, number 1, and you're going to put that in your folder. Now you're ready for tomorrow. Does everyone see how warm-ups are going to work? So sometimes you might have 1, sometimes you might have 3, just depending on what topic we're doing. And then on Fridays or whatever the last day of the week is, you're going to turn this into the to the box when we are done with it for your weekly warm-up grade. Scarlett. How did I get the 10th? I don't know what I did. Yes, tomorrow's the 7th. I'll change that on mine. Maybe I was thinking the answer. I don't know. It's okay. But does everyone see how to set that up ready for the next day? Okay. So that goes into your math pocket folder. So go ahead and put that in your math pocket folder. Keep your pocket folder out. I'm going to go ahead and give you your homework for the week. And what should you write at the top? Due Friday. Most of you turned it in last week on time. Thank you for doing that. Some of you, I still don't have it, so you need to get that into the box. Because after 5 days of a due date, we don't take late work. Yes, ma'am.
Does it still have to have that piece of paper attached to it?
Yep. Homework every week has paper attached to it. Alright, so go ahead and put your pocket folder away. Nope, you're not crossing out Monday. You will have time to get it finished. Alright, so go ahead and put that away, and I need you to get out your interactive notebook. Interactive notebook. All right, go to your table of contents. Number 6, we are on Unit 1, Lesson 1. And that is going to be page 9. And then turn to page 9 once you're ready. All right, so we are starting Unit 1, which is scale factor. And when I hear scale factor, the first time I was like, what is that? That sounds difficult. It's really not. All you really got to do is think back to last year when we did our input-output tables. Remember the side rules? How did I get from 2 to 4? I times by 2, right? So then I've got to do the same thing on the other side because the rules have to match. This is the same type of idea. So we're going to be making one shape or figure larger or smaller. If it has a scale factor of 1, think of timetables. If I multiply something by 1, am I going anywhere? No, the answer is what? That number, right? Not 1, that number. So if something has a scale factor of 1, it's not changing. It stays whatever it is. It stays with those measurements, okay? So when we're looking at this, if you guys can keep that in the back of your head, this is going to be very simple for you to catch on to. So go ahead and go to page 9, and we're going to write our title, which is Unit 1. And that is Scaled Drawings. And we are on Lesson 1, Scaled Copies. Kind of a kindergarten question. What is a copy of something? The same thing, right? But could it be a smaller version of it? Yes. Could it be a larger copy or image of it? Yes. Can a copy be the same? If I put a homework sheet in the copier and I hit copy, it's going to come out identical, right? But is it still a copy? Yeah, it made an identical copy of it. So sometimes it's going to stay the same, sometimes it's going to get larger, sometimes it's going to get smaller. All right. So we've got one vocab word that we are going to definitely focus on, and that is scaled copy. Which is a copy of any figure where every length in the original figure is multiplied by the same number. Looks like a lot, but it's only one sentence definition. Shortened it for you guys. So we're going to copy one example, and those that are visual learners like me, if I see something, usually it clicks really quickly. So once you guys see this, you're probably going to say, oh, that makes sense. All right, so in this example, triangle DEF. What do you notice about those letters? What did I do? Capital letters, yes. Triangle DEF is a scaled copy of triangle ABC. So if triangle DEF is a scaled copy of triangle ABC, which was the original triangle? ABC. All right, so each side length on triangle ABC was multiplied, bless you, by 1.5 to get the corresponding side length on triangle DEF. That is the most you're going to have to write today. So hang with me. All right, we're going to draw two triangles, and they do not have to be perfect because I am not near perfect. All right, so if the original was triangle ABC, what happened to the new one? Did it enlarge or did it shrink? How do we know it enlarged? It's a bigger picture, right? It's a bigger triangle. Okay, so for something to get larger in size, it's got to increase, or the length's got to change. Okay, corresponding side length. That means the same spot on both figures. So let's say, what is the corresponding side to AC? What would be on the new one? Side AC, what would match on the new one? AC, what would match on the new one? What's in the same spot as AC on the new one? Abby, sorry.
DF.
Yes, DF. Isn't AC the top? Isn't DF the top? Yes. Okay, so what would match AB? Call it out. DE. What would match BC? EF. Ooh, are we awake today, guys? All right, so let's look at that example. It says that it's a scaled copy. Each side length on the triangle ABC was multiplied by 1.5. So we've got to figure out what the new side lengths are going to be. How would I figure out what DF would be if AC was 6? What is this increasing by, Soraya? By 1.5, right? So if AC was 6, what am I going to do to get DF? Multiply 6 by 1.5. Good. So down here, I'm going to show my work. So 1.5 times 6, and that's 30, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I'm going to go over one spot. So 6 times 1.5 equals 9, so my new corresponding side length is going to be 9. All right, I want you to find out the other two sides and put your work right next to this. So look at what I did if you are not sure what we're doing. And these notebooks already look really, really good organized. Good job. About 10 seconds, wrap up what you're on, and then we'll look at how we did on this. All right, what am I going to set up to figure out the side length of DE? What am I going to write? Abby? 1/2, 1.5. Times 4, okay, because this is 4, so we need to up it by 1.5 to figure out what this is going to be. So when we solve that, we get 20, 4, 5, 6. So my answer is going to be 6. All right, what am I going to write for my last one, Evie?
1.5
Times 5. So we got 5, 5, 6, 7. So 7.5. So EOG, two things. They're either going to ask you to do what we just did, or they're going to give you a 1 shape and 2 shape and ask you how did they get from this to this. So that is when easily you could make a ratio chart like we did last year and figure out what the rule is to get from one number to the other. And if you figured out how to set that up, you would see that the rule would be 1.5. All right? Okay, so I'm going to give you guys something to put into your notebook, and you are going to do this when you get it. So I'm going to give you the lesson summary. Do you see how mine flips up like this? Okay, you're going to put it right on top. I just put 2 small pieces of tape right here so that you can flip up. That way you guys can still see your notes. All right, so our lesson summary we're going to put in every day. All that is just another version of the notes so that you guys have those extra examples, and all of this is where your test is coming from. And these are on different colored sheets of paper, but they're the same thing, so you just gotta make sure you get one. All right, so while you're putting that in, it just says, what is a scaled copy of a figure? Look at those examples. All right, so it says the second and third drawings are both scaled copies of the original Y. Why are both of these scaled copies of this? Are they still identical pictures of this one? Yes, this one's just larger, this one's smaller. But look down here. Why are these two not scaled copies? Aiden?
Because they aren't the same. They aren't the same. They're stretched out.
Right. This one's stretched out long ways. This one's scrunched up like they took the pixels and pushed them inward. So if it does not look identical as in the picture, it's not a scaled copy. It's only a scaled copy if it looks identical. The size can be different, but it has to look the same. These, nope, ain't gonna work, okay? And then we talked about scaled copy. All right, so next we're going to get into the actual lesson now that we have an idea of what we were doing. So when you get this paper, and this part's gonna be faster once everybody's on iPads and everyone got iPads, but for this week, we are going to put a little bit extra into our notebooks, but like I said, when we get going with the iPads, you won't have this much to put in. So we're gonna do a few together, and then you're gonna do a few on your own, and then we're gonna check them, and then do the cool down, and that will be the lesson for today. Very easy lesson today. 1, 2, 3, 4. When you get this, you're gonna fold it kind of backwards, not like a book, but backwards, so that when you have it folded, only the print sides are out on the outside. I'll show you in a minute if you don't know what I mean. Now these papers are sticking today. All right, so if you take your paper and fold it so it opens like a backwards book, then you've got both of your print on the outside. All right, so let's look at this first question. Here's an original. So here's the original. If you need to box it, put a cloud around it, whatever you need to do. That's the original, and some other drawings around it, okay? Can someone name one drawing number that is a scaled copy of it? That is a scaled copy. Ariana? Drawing 2, okay. Can someone give me one that is not a scaled drawing? Mario? 6, okay. Very slight difference, but that will work as not, okay. So if we look at number 1, it says, identify all the drawings that are scaled copies of the original F. Explain how you know. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes. I want you to list the numbers that are scaled drawings and then write me in 1 sentence. Tell me, how do you know those are scaled copies? So if you need to look at what we have already put in the notebook, you can if you need a little bit of help there. If you finish that quickly, you can start the second one, and we're going to go over those in just a few minutes. All right, number 1, which ones are scaled drawings? Someone raise their hand and tell me what is one that is a scaled drawing. Quentin? Okay. So we've got drawing 1. Braille, what's another one?
Drawing 2.
2. And Paitlin, what's another one?
Drawing
5. Not 5. 7. Yes. Why are those the only 3 that are scaled copies? Someone read me their sentence. What was your reasoning? Scarlett?
They're the exact same drawings, the only difference is that the size of the
Okay. So can we say same measurements? Just it's enlarged or it's smaller? And when I say same measurements, I'll show you what I mean in just a second. Number 2, examine all the scaled copies more closely, specifically the lengths of each part of the letter F. How do they compare to the original? What do you notice? Okay, let's look at this real quick. How many boxes, and I know it's faint, how many boxes do I have going across on the top of the F? 2. How many do I have going down? 4. And how many do I have on the inside line? 1. 1 box. Okay, so is it safe to say if those doubled, that would be a scaled copy?
Yes.
Okay, so is there one that happens? Let's look at drawing 2. How many are going across in drawing 2?
2.
No. 4. How many are going down? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many's going across?
2.
Okay, so let's look at that. If I double 4, do I get 8? If I double 2, do I get 4? If I doubled 1, do I get 2? So is this one twice as big? Because how do I know that's twice as big? If I multiply these by what? 2. So that means it's doubled in size, right? Here, why would 1 work? I'm going from 2 to 3. I'm going from 1 to 1.5. And I'm going from 4 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Miss Diamond's blind. Let me double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that 6? Let's see. Well, let's think. How do I get from 1 to 1.5? And it's always by multiplying. So what would I have to multiply this by? What? 1.5, right? So what's 2 times 1.5? 3, right? So what's 4 times 1.5?
6.
So does that make sense? This side is 6? So drawing 1 will work, drawing 2 will work. Why does drawing 3 automatically, we can tell that does not work? Why, Mario?
So the top part is it's longer and the bottom part is not multiplied the same. They can't multiply the bottom part with the other part.
Good. So if we look at this one, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then here we've got 1, 2, 3. Is there any way to get from 4 to 4 times 1, right? But can I do 2 times 1 and get 4?
No.
No. So that's why drawing 3 does not work. Does everyone see how it's not similar? Okay. Same thing with drawing 4. I'm not even going to attempt that slant. We already know, right? Is the original slanted? Then that automatically cannot work. All right, drawing 5 looked similar, but would that one work? Okay, we've got 2 here, 3 here, and what do we got going down? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So to get from 1 to 2, I'd have to multiply by 2, right? Is 4 times 2 6? Is 2 times 2 3? Nope. Drawing 6. We've got 1, 1, and 2. No way to do that. Drawing 7. We've got 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How can I get from 2 to 6? Times 3. So our rule is 3. Let's check to make sure all of that works. Is 1 times 3 3? Is 4 times 3 12? Yes. So drawing 7 will work. All right. So what I want you to do for number 3, and then this sheet is done. Y'all moving right along, good job. I want you to draw a different scaled copy of the original letter F. So that's the same F we just looked at, but I want you to draw a new one we've not talked about that will work as a scaled copy. And I'll give you a few minutes to figure that out. So look at the ones that did and didn't work and come up with your own that will work. And we're going to have a bunch of different ones. I wrote the original measurements just so you guys can see those. Let me see a show of hands that have one scaled copy, like you figured one out. All right, 10 seconds to wrap up what you're writing, and then we're gonna start seeing how many we can come up with. All right, let's see, who wants to start us off? Scarlett, what did you come up with? You multiplied by what? 0.5, so a half. Okay, so what did you come up with as your measurements? 1 across the top. 2 across the side. And then a half. So we've got 1.5 and 2. Will that one work? Yes, good job. What is another one, Evie?
I did, the top is 6, I did 2 times 3.
Okay.
And then the side is 8, I did 4 times 2.
Okay.
And in the middle is 4, I did 1 times 4.
That one gonna work? Yep. All right, can we get one more? Jasmine.
I made mine smaller.
Okay.
I did 2 for the first line, 1 for the top, and then for the small one I did 5.
Yep, that's what this one is right here.
Oh.
1.5 and 2. Yep, so we know that one will work. Does anyone have a different one? Ramon.
For the top, I multiplied 2 by 4, and I got 8.
Okay.
And for the side, I did 4 by 4.
Okay.
I got 16. And for the middle, I did 1 by 4, and I got 4.
You had what in the middle?
4.
8? 4? You had 4 in the middle? So you multiplied by, you said 4?
Yes.
So you had 8 here, 16 here, and 4 here. All right, that one will work. All right, so is everyone seeing how it's staying the same, but it's getting larger or smaller? Yes? All right, so what I need for you to do is go ahead and close that back up. And you just need 2 small pieces of tape. Y'all kind of see why tape's a little easier to work with? Okay, so this is what you're going to do because we're adding 2 more things to this. You're going to put this just a little past the red line, and you're going to put 1 at the top, 1 at the bottom so that it flips. Everyone see that? Because we're going to put something behind it. Alright, so I'm going to give you a few minutes to work with your table, and you're going to get done 4 questions, and then we're going to go over them. So if you look at number 1, this is going off of exactly what we just did. Number 2, you're trying to see if you agree with what Tyler is saying happened. Number 3, they want to know, are the stadiums, the football stadiums, are they scaled copies of the original at the very top? So that's a stadium in California. They want to see if it's the same scaled copy or not. And then number 5, you're going to write what is going to make that statement true. Remember, we are using decimals in 7th grade, so some of these might have a decimal in it. Okay, so I'm going to set the timer for about, let's do 6 minutes, and then if we need more, I'll give you more. And then we're going to put that into our notebook, go over that, and then do the cool down and turn that in. Any questions? All right.